So we are showing 3 pathways, 7 points. It's a classic scanner and cosmodic technique, which is influencing the major areas of general regulation. The technique is performed with a cosmodic. We will be showing it how you perform it in an objective mode. So when you do that in objective mode, you will be taking readings on the cosmodic. We are using SCENAR COSMODIC EX Slider Auto, and you will be taking readings from here. So you will be reading the level of activity of the body at each position. So the first route is the middle line that is going from the hairline all the way down to the tailbone, but you do not start from the hairline, you start from below C7. If you have your position of the 7th cervical vertebra right here, so you start your route below the C7. So the first position, and take a reading, 20. We will be working on highs, so we will be looking at the highest numbers. So the second position is 17. 20 is higher than 17. Put your finger at that spot. 14. 22. 22 is a higher number now, and you again can put your finger on the 22. 14. 17. 31. 31, obviously higher number. You're placing your finger on the higher number. 24. 8. 12. 8. 6. 3. 4. 7. The last position was 8, and we're finishing the route on the neck, just 2 positions. 10, and you're finishing your route above the C7, not crossing the C7. 20. So obviously the highest number was 31, and we have our finger on the 31, so we will be dosing that spot. Remove your finger, place your device on that spot, and waiting for the dose. And that's your first route. Your second route is the left paravertebral line, which is about ½ an inch to the left from the center, from the middle line. Again, you start from the line that goes through the C7, you start below C7, and in the same manner as you did the first route, you're going through the second route. So your first reading on the left paravertebral line is 19. The second reading is 14. 19 is higher, you put your finger on it. 17. 12. 23 is higher, you move your finger to 23. 19. 7. 17, 10, 6, 3, 5, 7, and you're finishing your route on the neck. 6 and 13. So 23, your highest number, you dose. That would be your second route. The dose may take a while. For this particular technique, you have to wait for the dose. You will have one dose on each route. You can dose the highest numbers, or you can work on lows, and instead of dosing highest number, you will be dosing the lowest number. Everything depends on the situation. If you decide to work on degenerative issues, you probably would work on lows. We prefer to work on highest typically. We just dosed. Because that shows where the body's attention and activity is at the moment. Now we're starting the third route, which goes exactly the same way. So the line goes across the C7, you start below C7 on a right paravertebral line, which is about half an inch to the side from the central line. So your first reading is 20, the second reading is 23, and you place your finger on the 23, 16, 11, 13, 9, 13, 6, 6, 6, 5, 7, 10, 10, and you're finishing on the neck above the C7. 14 and 18, and our highest was 23. We dose. So that's the end of your third route. So you finished 3 pathways on the back. Here we go, we just dosed. Before we go to the 7 points on the face, there is one modification that you may want to consider. Instead of doing paravertebral lines first left and then second right, you can do them at the same time. In this situation, you will still be looking for the highest or lowest on the right and on the left, but you can actually assess them at the same time. So you would start below C7 line on the left and take your first reading here, and take your second reading on the right, and then the reading on the left, and then the reading on the right, and off you go, measuring both paravertebrals at the same time. However, your numbers should be separate for the left and for the right line. It's your personal preferences. We prefer to do them separately, but it's your choice. Now we will be doing the 7 points on the face. So 7 points on the face, 6 of them are points of exit of the trigeminal nerve, which, as you know, is the facial nerve, and it's a direct route to the brain. So it's kind of a continuation of the spinal cord on the face. So when you finish with the back, or you finish with the 3 pathways, then you start with 7 points. What we typically do, we measure them, and then after you measure them, you dose the highest, right? And then you dose the point number 7. So first point is always on the right, on the client's head, your left. First trigeminal nerve point. If you take your finger and you run it down from the angle of your mouth it will be a point just above the edge of the jaw, like right here, and that's the one you influence. You cannot really influence it with a full electrode. It's enough if 2 of your electrodes are covering the point kinds of in between. It's enough if only 2 electrodes touch the skin for the electricity to occur. It doesn't have to be all 3 electrodes. So what you do, you take your scanner like this, and you put it like this. Okay?
I've been doing it backwards. I've been starting up here.
No. So that's your first point. Bottom right from the client. It's your bottom left as a practitioner. The second point, just the opposite, would be right here. Second pair of points is the second, this is actually the third branch of trigeminal nerve, which is mandibular nerve. The second pair is the maxillar nerves, and how you find them is the point like about ½ an inch to the right from the nostril and ½ an inch to the up. So just about here. And on this side is just about here. So again, just 2 electrodes. Make your cosmodic on the angle and put it right here. Okay?
Oh, I've been nowhere near the right place.
And on this side, just about here. Got it?
This position.
Now, the first part, the third pair of points, it's the first branch of trigeminal nerve, which is nervus ophthalmicus. Nervus ophthalmicus comes out to the face. You can palpate it with your thumb. If you run your thumb on the bottom of the edge orbit, just about 1/3 from the eyebrow, below the eyebrow, you will feel a little groove. It will be a little sensitive, just about here. Just about here. Can you feel it? Palpate it with your thumbs. You feel it. So you have to cover that spot. Now, in order to cover that spot, if you have an eyebrows that kind of go forward, right? It's not always easy because eyebrows can prevent the electricity from happening. You lift an eyebrow with your finger, like just like that, and you put your machine just like it, and make sure the machine reads. Okay, so you have a good connection with the skin, like this, and you put machine like this. Get it?
Supraorbital.
Yeah. No, it's actually the below the eyebrow. It's the edge of the orbit.
But where the nerve comes out, right?
No, it's below the eyebrow, like right here.
You feel that notch where the nerve comes out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But it's not the indentation in the bone, it's further in.
It's indentation on the bone. That's where the branch is coming out.
Okay.
So you need to touch the skin above that location. Okay? Everyone got that? And of course, you dose the highest or the lowest, depending on what you're working on. And your last point is the 7th point, which is of course, the third eye, which you successfully dose, right? So these are your 7 points.
I've been doing it backwards.
I mean, there's nothing dramatic if you're doing it backwards, but try to keep the order that we have in standard in scanner therapy. This is your first point right here. Okay?
Do you dose each point?
No. You measure them and you dose the highest or the lowest. If you don't have the dosing device like you have the CDAV or DAV, just spend a minute or 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes, whatever you have on each
You're
point.
saying measure them all and then treat the highest one?
Or the lowest, depending on what you
don't
choose.
treat all? I've been treating all.
Well, good. I mean, if you're dosing all, that's great, but not many of us have the time to do that. So.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.